Hey, what's going on? My name is Josh. For those of you who are new to the channel, this is the Good Brothers Trading Academy, and today we're going to go over a couple of things. It's pre-election. Did the market just put in a top? Okay, let's break down the SPY chart and figure out if we did indeed actually put in a top, or if this is just a pullback and a good place to buy. We want to see and check out all different time frames. So this is the daily chart. I wanted to point this out. We talked about this particular pattern before in one of the other YouTube videos, how it's a V-shaped recovery. It came down, got bought up, and we had this pullback and then a lift off. We had this consolidation, and you can kind of read the chart, and it continued to drive up. But it starts with this V-shaped recovery. Now, something I want to point out, now we have this double top right here. So we talked about this just the other day, how we thought 320 price zone would be effective and hold the market up, and we found buyers there. Okay, so we were looking at these particular areas where we found sellers and buyers before, and we thought that there would probably be buyers there again. So we had the pullback. Now, are we just consolidating at the top, building energy to make a move higher, or once we start rejecting these areas, will we just continue to sell off? And that's what we want to know. Are we putting in a top in the market, or are we consolidating? And something we want to check out is the monthly time frame. Before we get into the monthly time frame, do me a favor, smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, so every single time we update new content, you'll be first to be notified. Now, going into the monthly time frame, this is what we want to look at. Is we do have it looks like a reversal pattern at this point, okay? And we got the rejection that we talked about. Now, we also talked about, again, this 320 level holding the market. So what I want to see is now we have a gap up this morning. Here's pre-market, this orange line. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so we're gapping up higher, and we have pre-market. And so it's moving up. So what we want to see is on these bigger time frames, if it's going to be a long-term trend down in the market, if we're going to get a market top, it's going to show first on smaller time frames. Yes, so we got our top up here, right? But what we want to see is if it's actually going to continue to sell off and it's going to continue to crash. We, just like right here, we had a big monthly reversal candle and monthly pattern, reversal pattern, same thing at the bottom here, before making this move higher, before pulling back, another reversal pattern before making another a few months in the northern direction. Okay, so we want to see the same thing happen. If this is a reversal, now one thing again that we want to point out is what if this is just a V-shaped recovery on a bigger time frame, a pullback and liftoff? What if the market could actually continue to move in the northern direction for a long time? We want to have biases on both sides, right? So far, as I said, we are getting a market top, or it may look like a market top, in the weekly time frame. Okay, so if we look at the weekly time frame, once again, we are getting a double top. We're above the highs. Now, this is what I do like, is we made a strong move up, and now we seem to be holding this, what used to be the top, okay, back here in February, before the market sell-off. So we're looking and we're holding the top. We broke through it, and as long as we can continue to hold these levels, as long as what I would like to see is the market to continue, right? We all want to see the market continue to new highs. And we love being bullish, and we continue to be bullish until otherwise. But we want to look at both sides of the market. We never want to leave out one or the other. We want to be able to be flexible with our decisions. Now, it is pre-election, and so I think that's part of the reason why we're getting this nice sell-off, is who wants to be long before an election? And in many cases, if we look back in history, it shows that the market tends to crash in October or right before election time. And so we just want to be aware of that. And we have these market tops, or what could look like a market top. We have this indecision bar. It did break down below the indecision bar. What I would love to see is a recapture. So we have this gap up in the market. I would be bullish because we're low. We're going to go over a couple other tickers on where we are currently at, and we're at low prices, so we want to buy low, sell high, but I want to be patient in the trades. I want to make sure that on some of these smaller time frames, as in the smaller, larger time frames, maybe the daily chart and the 3-hour time frame, that we're getting reversal patterns before continuing playing. Now, what I would not overlook, though, on the weekly and monthly time frames is the 50% retracement levels. So if we were to find the 50% retracement level, you could use the Fibonacci, but you you snap it from top and bottom or bottom and top, and we find just a 50%. You want to go ahead and mark that out. So let's go ahead and do that. So this would be the weekly time frame. And if you've been following me, I generally put my weekly resistance, or that 50%, right. I use the color pink. So that way it stands out at the charts and it lets me know what is going on at this price zone area, okay, or this price area. And I just want to see how the market reacts around this level. And I also obviously use different stocks. So let's go to a smaller time frame. So this is the weekly, here's the monthly time frame. So we want to see now, if we snap the weekly time frame from top to bottom on this reversal candle, then it would show. And what is this candle? So if we add this candle right here up with this candle, what candle does that actually give us? Okay, let's build that candle out, because nothing broke the high or the low of this particular candle. So all we have is an inside bar. We have one inside bar, but what does this look like? If we draw a candle out from where the body is to the wick, this is what kind of candle we have. And that is a fairly bearish candle. This is certainly a reversal candle. So we have a move down in the market like so, with a wick on top and bottom. And then we have the previous candle, which would be this candle here. We have a candle that looks like this. So if we look at that pattern, this would show us that this is a reversal pattern. So the market could sell off, but what we're looking for is we want to know where the 50% retracements are on these particular candles or this pattern. So if we get a retracement up to 50%, then we could get a rejection. We would want to be paying attention to our rejection areas, our sell-off areas. So the pattern would look probably something like this, where let's say we're down here, we get a pull up, a consolidation, maybe it hits here and it starts to reject and then fall. Okay, so then we could be short bias. That would give us the time and go, look, we are now going to be short bias on the market once we get these rejections. Now, if it pulls up to the top, for example, let's get our eraser out, and the pattern looks something like this, and it consolidates up here, then we could probably be looking for a move higher, right? Or if it gets on top and consolidates on the top of the resistance, we could be looking for any kind of dip buys, intraday plays, small scalps in the market, a couple bucks here and there. But that gives us our area in which we want to watch. Now today, I'm just going to watch to see what the market does. There are a couple stocks that I'm paying attention to that look kind of bullish. We have some news out on BABA. The 3-hour candlestick pattern is gapping up higher than kind of looking like it might squeeze some of the bears out. And we can get more into how we can read whether there's bears or bulls stuck in their positions, which cause an imbalance in the market, which causes that big move we're always wanting to catch, okay? So right now, let's just find our top and bottom on, so this is the weekly at this point, as far as the 50% retracement on the weekly time frame. Now let's find the 50% on the monthly time frame. And I don't want to clutter up the charts too much. I may, for myself, there we go, taking off some of these lines. So let's do a 50% retracement on the monthly time frame, and we're going to make that a completely different color. And since we're at the beginning of a new month, this is the reason why I'm putting these levels in, okay, on the monthly time frame. And I see it being very critical. I don't break down the monthly chart very often, but this is going to give us an understanding of where the market is heading for the long term. Okay, I want to know if this is a top, don't you want to partake of the stock market when we get a monthly reversal pattern like we did on a V-shaped recovery on the daily chart and the weekly chart, and catch the big move? So we are wanting to pay attention to these bigger moves. Let's go ahead and make this line something I never make. I never put yellow in the chart. So we'll do the monthly reversal pattern, or the 50% rejection area or bullish area if it claims it and stays above it. But we will use yellow as our monthly and then pink as our weekly level. And now let's go down to our smaller time frame. So here's the weekly, again, 50% up this candle. Here's the monthly, 50% up the entire breakdown candle. And then now let's go to the daily chart. So right now we have the daily chart. We have a tail candle into our buy level. We saw this would be an area where buyers are going to step into the market. We have this, we found buyers here last time. We found this buyers keeping the market up, a consolidation sideways. We also looked back here and found more consolidating before the push. We had to gap down into this area before getting a massive sell-off last time, okay? But that was part of the pandemic, so no surprise there. That's news triumphs, technicals in this standpoint, but we are at a low, and we're at a place where other buyers are going to see the stock, the stock market attractive. So we want to understand that. Now let's go down to even a lower time frame. So first, the daily time frame shows some kind of a reversal bar right now. Now let's look at the 3-hour time frame. The 3-hour time frame is also putting in some kind of a pattern. So this is what I want to look at, is we have a reversal down here and the market has moved. So at this point, we're still putting in lower highs, and we want to actually start seeing it turn around. I would like to see higher lows coming. So it would look something like this. Now, since we have this bottom here, and now since we put in the reversal, I'd like to see a push up and maybe a higher low, and maybe hold that 50% up, and then continue moving the market higher, right? So we want to see what they do and how it reacts around these levels. If we start rejecting and coming down, we may be able to start taking this thing short as well. But this gives us an idea where we're currently at in the market, and that's what we want to really be paying attention to, is these particular special levels, okay? And these levels, when we find them, or we want to find them, these are the levels that are going to help us become profitable in the market and have a full understanding of what the market's doing. So let's even go down to a smaller time frame, a 3-hour time frame. We do have that double bottom put in and this move higher. Okay, so we do have a little bit of room up to this 50%, which would be on the weekly time frame. If we get a consolidation at the top and a breakthrough, I'd be a dip buyer at the bottom on the upper side of the 50% retracement. And on the hourly time frame, we want to see hourly closes up here, and we could also potentially get a gap fill, okay, to 336. And so that's kind of an area that we're looking at, but some intraday trades. Now let's go over a couple other stocks. This is what I mentioned earlier this week, was we have some nice sell-offs, some selling pressure. Gaming, if we continue to have more of the pandemic issue, I am paying attention to this consolidation at the top. We have the V-shaped recovery. It's something I understand. If we continue to get some sort of a push up, I will be bullish, and I will continue to add to my position or buy and sell, getting into the market and then selling intraday accordingly. Okay, so that's GLPI. I like the recovery pattern it has, and every single time, so this is what I was saying, every single time we get some sort of news on the coronavirus, if it's going to continue, this is a gaming company, it seems to move because people are in their homes playing games more. Okay, same thing with a lot of the technical companies. Now AMD is at this level where it's been at several times, or before. This is again a weekly time frame chart. It's not getting the bounce that I would like, although that's where it did stop at. This was our buy zone area. When I say buy zone, I'm generally just not buying the falling knife. I like to wait for a pattern to show me that there's a reversal coming in the market so I can continue to ride the momentum to the upside. Now we're still bullish, okay? This is not necessarily, I'm not saying it's a market top and we're just short bias. Look at the market. It's or AMD, even in this instance, it's continuing pushing higher. Okay, so right now there are no rejections. There's nothing telling us that this is just going to continue to sell off. We could still be buyers down here. Okay, we're just waiting. I think a lot of what's happening is people are waiting to see what the election turns out to be. So there's no sense, of getting overly excited and just buying the falling knife. Let's wait and pay attention to what happens. Let's watch these lower time frames. So we have a daily chart. Let's see if we get a reversal on a daily chart. Let's see if this thing, it's gapped up. We're about at the 50% on the daily chart. Let's see if it closes at the high. And then we could sell into maybe 81 if it does hold that, and we get a nice pattern, maybe going sideways, maybe a double bottom. Look at on the 3-hour time frame. So we get again, we're going to get the reversals on the lower time frames before the larger time frames. Right now, this looks pretty good. We have a reversal pattern right here on the 3-hour time frame. Then we have a flag going sideways, and it completes the pattern. What if we get another sell-off, but it only comes down to, let's say, $75? We find ourselves a lower high, or we get a consolidation at the top. This thing could easily see $78, or roughly around $77.60. Okay, so there's plenty of room there to take a nice trade, a buck or so if you're an intraday trader. And we'll just continue paying attention to some of these other stocks too. So we have Guild. I like Guild because we are, even if we look at a huge time frame, for example, the monthly chart, we are into some pretty significant levels. And we did get some news out on the stock saying that they are bullish. So we want to see if we get a reversal, and I want to see if it recaptures this area. This $63 area has been so critical. Look at this buying pressure right here. When it sold off, there was a bunch of dip buyers coming in, forcing the stock up. And then as we came down in the market, look at this base that it formed. Okay, so we sold right off into the base. Let's see if we get a a recapture in this zone. So let's see if buyers step in, push the weekly time frame or this monthly time frame up, and I want to see if we get a run back up to 80 bucks, 85 bucks, right around this area. Okay, is kind of where I'd like to see it go. 77, about 78 bucks to $85. So let's see if we get a reversal on these bigger time frames and we can continue to be bullish. Now look at Fiverr. Fiverr just put in a nice huge top on the monthly chart. So it's not looking any better than some of these other candles. Big market top, but we do like and I have the 50% retracement, so we know that the pink line is the retracement level. Okay, so and we want to be paying attention to that. Now we have a gap up, and so I just want to pay attention for this next week on how it's going to react to this. Now we could also put our retracement level. We can make this one yellow and say and have this be the monthly, and this one be the weekly, and we can start watching how price reacts around these levels. Okay, so not a big fan of Fiverr at this point. It looks like we're going to continue to get a sell-off. So if we get maybe some buying and selling up and around here and it continues to drop, these are our levels and these are our zones. I break down the chart by these zones to tell me where things are happening and where we're getting rejection. So we clearly got a rejection off of this bigger time frame, which would have been the monthly chart. We can make that yellow so I'm not confusing. So here's the monthly rejection. And we did get that. Okay, so I would like to see maybe another spike up, or if this, because it did gap up, but if we get a spike up, we can kind of start being short bias on Fiverr unless we hold these levels. So we'll just pay more attention to what's going on Fiverr. Now, Facebook, I was bullish until I was not bullish. Okay, so we have the 50% level and the zone marked out. This is just the area, this zone of the 50%. We were getting this nice move higher on the weekly time frame. Everything looked great. Pushed up, consolidation, a big massive move up, a pullback makes sense. Found buyers at where the breakout point was, which oftentimes happen where the market comes back to retest that level where it broke out, and then we get the big move up. Now this looked awesome until earnings came out, and now we have a reversal candle. So what I would be doing right now is let's go ahead and erase these, and let's put the 50% level on Facebook, so we get an understanding that on the weekly time frame we certainly have a reversal. We'll make it pink because that's the way we roll, and now we have an understanding of where we are watching. So I am short bias now on Facebook unless we clearly get above and hold this level. I will be shorting Facebook from now on. So this is a daily chart. We are still at the lows on the daily chart. Let's look at a 3-hour time frame. It looks like we were trying to find something, some kind of bottom. We got a lot of buying, and we are just now we're getting more of a sell-off. So let's look at a lower time frame and see if we're building some type of a pattern. I like Facebook. I understand the levels. I wouldn't mind being a seller down into 255 if that's the case. Maybe selling a little earlier, but I also want to see it. I'd love to see it run up and then start rejecting and then find higher lows too. So these are our levels. These are the couple stocks I'm paying attention to. Oh, the next one, I want to show you Netflix. I've been watching Netflix for a while. Here is the weekly time frame. Looks great. We're right into a buy zone. We also got an analyst upgrade on the stock saying that they think the stock's going to go up, but this, I mean, that's like a triple top if I've ever seen one. So we, or a consolidation sideways. So depending on what happens, if we go down to the lower time frames, we still look like we're getting a rejection. That's on the daily chart. Here's a 3-hour time frame, and it just doesn't seem to be holding. We got this nice spike up, probably on the news, and then it sold off. So still watching. Let's see what the election does. I don't think we're going to, I think pretty much all these little pops we're going to get, it seems like we're just getting sold into and we're going to find more sellers. So let's wait, get an idea of what's happening in the post-election or pre-election, wait until after the election, see if we get another spark in the market. And I would be a lot more out to understanding or going long in the market. Now, at this point, we could just be, like I said, I'm looking for rejections. Facebook's kind of on my radar. GLPI, AMD, and Guild, I like for more watching around those particular levels that we pointed out. So if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share. We're brand new to YouTube. We're trying to grow it to 1,000 subscribers so I can go live for you pre-market and do some live breakdowns. And other than that, I'll see you in the next video.